Okay, limiting factors, question 36. So let's look at this. So what we have here is we have a scenario, LF, and we're told these are your selling prices, and you have your direct materials and your fixed overhead. So I'm going to jump straight into it. Always get rid or completely ignore these, the fixed overhead. Remember, when we talked about limiting factors, this all comes under marginal costing. Under marginal costing, and we are interested in short-term. This is short-term decision making. Yes, short-term decision making. So it's not long-term. We are ignoring the fact that we have to deal with fixed costs because we don't in the short term. We can even assume we've covered our fixed costs, but they're just not relevant in the short term. They're just not relevant. So what I need to do is to find out what the contribution is. So I need contribution, and contribution happens before the fixed term overheads. So if this is my profit, if I know this and I'm trying to go back one space, in effect, I'm asking you to sort of say, what was contribution? What did I have here before we deducted 24? So in other words, I'm asking you to add this to this, the profit back to the fixed overhead. So if you do that, I'm going to write those figures over here. 24 plus 22 gives you 46. Here you have 30 plus 25. That gives you 55. Here you have 32 plus 29. That gives you 61. Here you have 36 plus 18. That gives you 54. Right? So you have these contributions. That's where you are. So now the next question we should be asking ourselves is, what is the scarce resource? And we're told here that during the next 3 months, the direct labor is scarce, it's limited. So what I need to then think of is, I'll change my pen color. I need to come here and I need to ask myself, what's going on with direct labor? I can see £18 here, and you're paying £6 an hour. So it means that there's 3 hours of labor here, right? And it means here that there's, because I've said 18 divided by 6, yes? So 15 divided by 6, I know there's 2.5, there's 2.5 hours of labor here. And here I can see 24 divided by 6, and I know there's 4 hours of labor here. And here I can see 27, and as I can see there's 4.5 hours here. So what do I now have here? I'll just change my pen color and create another little table for myself. Oops, sorry. Another table for myself. Yes, let's just go here. So it means that, like I said, what I need to do is to find what the contribution is per labor hour. If you like, how much that contribution is doing, if you like, 55 over 2.5, 61 over 4, 54 over 4.5. That's what I need to do, right? How much contribution is yielded by 1 hour? So 46 divided by 3, 46 divided by 3 is 15.3. So that's how much contribution I'm getting. If you like here, 55 divided by 2.5 is 22. So for every hour we invest of labor, we get £22 for making product B. 61 divided by 4 is 15.25. That's 15.25. And 54 divided by 4.5, you have 12. And that's 12. So just changing my pen color again, you can see here that what I have is I can now sort of see who's giving me the highest contribution. So this is giving me the highest. So this is number 1. I'm going to make B first. And then I can see that I'm going to make A next because that's 15.2. Then I'm going to make C next. And then whatever I have left, I will make D, right? And this is what we refer to as ranking. Right, so let's make let's make B first. Well, let's go along. And they tell us, listen, we would like you to make 150 units of B. So if we make 150 units of B, the question is that how many hours does B need? B needs 2.5 hours. So 150 times 2.5 gives us the time. So 150 times 2.5 is 375. So we have used 375 hours, if you like, thanks to B, right? Actually, I think, yeah, I'll use this space. That's fine. So I can also, from here, straight away, I'm going to put here contribution. And so the contribution as a result of B, right, is 150 times its contribution, and its contribution we calculated as 55, right? So let me just get my contributions out of the way. Times 55, 150 times 55, and that's 8,250. 8,250. So here's my contribution heading. These are the hours that I've used, and this is the contribution as a result of it, right? Because I'm ultimately, the question wants me to find out profits as well, so I can just do both together, right? So what have I done? I've worked out how many hours I've used so far, and I've also worked out the contribution as a result of these 150 units, right? Then I'm going to make A, and A needs 3 hours. So A is 200 liters times 3 hours, and that's 600 hours, right? Fine. And then I now know that my contribution on A is 200 times 46. So that's 200 times 46. 200 times 46, and that's 9,200. It's 9,200, right? Good. So, I mean, the numbers I need, ultimately, I have this and this. It's not the tidiest, but give me. And then I make C next. If you remember, we make C next because it has the next highest contribution per hour, because this is a scarce resource, right? So let's look at C. C needs 4 hours. 4 hours. So 4 hours. So if I'm making C, that's C. I'm just going to do that here. That's 100 times 4. And that's 400, right? So actually, when can I even make all of C? Let me just look at that, because if I add all this together, I get 1375, and I am limited to 1345. So I can't even make all of C. So I'm just going to correct that a little. I actually thought I might be able to make all of C. So the question here is, how many hours do I have left? So you've used 975 hours so far. You have 1345 hours, right? So let's subtract the two. 1345. 1345 minus 975 gives us 370. So I have 370 hours left. I need 4 hours. I need 4 hours for each unit of C. Yes, for each unit of C. 1 unit of C, I need 4 hours, and I only have 370. So therefore, you will say 370 divided by 4 gives you 92. So you can only really make 92 units. 92 units of C, right? So 92 units of C. So I mean, this is all recorded, so you can just give myself space. So 92 units of C is what you can do, so no problem. So let's make 92 units of C. So that's 92 times 4. 92 times 4, because you can't make half a unit, you see. 92 times 4 is 368. 368, and then this will all tot up. Let's add this up so we can prove it. 368 plus 600 plus 375 is 1343. 1343. So we've used up all our hours, right? And of course, the contribution as a result of that, since I've made 92 units, will be 92 times, what is the contribution of C? 61. 6 times 61. 92 times 61. 92 times 61 is 5612. 5612. Right, so what do I now have? Well, here's everything I have. Here's my contribution. I have from A, 8250 plus 9200 plus 5612. I'm going to add all these together. 8250 plus 9200 plus 5612, and I get 23,062. Right? That's my contribution for each of these situations. And so let's just go there. And the question tells us here that, well, so now I just need to deduct the fixed cost. And the question tells me that fixed costs are absorbed on the basis of labor hours based on a budget of 1,600 hours per quarter. So I know that they have a total fixed cost of 1,000. Well, when I say total fixed cost, if it's based on 1,600 per quarter, let's see what they did here. If you look here, they had said that we can use any example, it would work. So this is a good one to use. So based on the reason you have 3 hours here, or the reason you have 24 here, is because someone has said that you have a fixed cost absorption, which is a figure. You multiply that by 3, and then you get 24. So 24 divided by 3 in effect, and that's 8. So obviously the overhead absorption rate is 8. We can try it here as well. This is a better one as well. 32 divided by 4 is 8. I mean, so 20 divided by 2.5 is 8. 36 divided by 4.5 is 8. You see, because what really happened was this. We had a figure, and we divided that by 1,600, and we got 8. So we now use this figure of 8 as our kind of, if you like, overhead absorption rate, right? So the question here is, what is this total figure, which is what we need to find, right? And so this is just full costing, isn't it? Full costing. So what we're now saying is that this is really, this full figure here is 8 times 1,600, isn't it? So you have 1,600 times 8. 1,600 times 8 gives you 12,800. 12,000. So you can now subtract 12,800 from this, because this is your fixed cost, and you can find your profit. You can find your profit. So 23,062 minus 12,800 and 10,262. So I think everything I've done, hopefully you can see, will help even with B. The point here is we've not been able to produce anything in D because we simply didn't have enough hours. So you hopefully, as everything I've done will help you explain the calculation, and you explaining what you're doing, and sort of working out this separation of hours from contribution, because that's all you need. Once you have the contribution, you just go for that and then deduct fixed costs, right? Okay, great stuff.